All right. So you made it up the food chain in the corporate world. You ended up being partner at McKinsey, but still you decided to leave and start your own company. So I'm just curious, why would someone who reached the top of the ladder decide, you know what? I want to have my own business now. I
Yeah.
want to leave it all behind.
Um, I always wanted to start a business. I somewhat did that before joining McKinsey as first as a contractor, an independent consultant, and then I had a few opportunities to build a team. But consulting is one thing, right? Developing a business, building a solution, building a solution that you market to clients is a completely different world in consulting. So for me, it's just I'm just continuing to have fun. I'm continuing my professional journey. I've explored the technical sides of consulting. I've explored the management consultant at McKinsey, where I was also leading Quantum Black in Canada. Quantum Black is McKinsey's group of analytics practitioner. And but I had to scratch that itch. I wanted to try it on my own in a different setting than what I was doing at McKinsey. And yeah, I decided, why not? You only live once, so why not?
Yeah, I mean, it's not just that you switched, that you opened your own company. You switched industries. I mean, you were the data guy in one of the biggest banks in Canada. And then right now, you're not in banking at all. So
No,
right
no,
now, right now, you've completely changed industry. So maybe talk to us a bit about
yeah.
what you do and what is Stratos?
Yeah. So just on that, like I have a passion for data and analytics, and this passion led me to work in financial institutions, to work with engineers in a telecom setting, or in transportation. And that's what's cool about data and AI. It's like we all need it. All organization needs it, and so I took this opportunity to bring my knowledge from one place, leverage and learn, and then go to something else. At McKinsey, I focused on serving aerospace OEMs and airlines with building their capabilities, their data and analytics capabilities, but also helping them deliver solutions. And then I kind of found a new passion in aviation, and started doing private pilot licenses or classes, and yeah, and just fell in love with the domain itself, but also the complexity of applying data and analytics in an operational setting such as airline operations. So Stratus X is an idea that I had a year ago. And I spent, the half of last year just exploring this idea, connecting with airline operators, and I found an amazing group of, highly skilled practitioners that are, living under pressure, constant pressure every day. And those folks are have developed, a sufficient knowledge to act on this pressure in real time and solve very, very complex problem, right? And I said to myself, how can data and analytics support these professionals so that they take even better decision, and they spend less time on trying to find the data left, right, and center, and really focus on solving the problem. So what problem we're solving? It's basically flight delays and cancellation, which are impacting us all travelers, right? And whenever airlines, they operate with by setting up plans that they establish maybe like six months before the day of operation. This plan is being refined until maybe a week or two before executing the plan. And this is where this resource plan is taken from the commercial team, and then pass to the operational team. This plan, if everything goes well, nothing to do, but we all know that this is not the case, right? There's always something that's going to happen, and those like men and women in the OCC are there to fix problem as they arise. So Stratus X is all about proactive mitigation planning, proactive disruption management. So we're building a platform called the X360, and our platform supports the end-to-end value chain of ops. At a high level, this means that looking a week or two in advance, taking a plan and assessing what's likely to happen in order to be prepared to have like contingencies and have playbooks to execute if there's any types of disruption. It's also about fixing those problems as they arise in real time. So imagine like an unexpected weather event or an unplanned mechanical issue. This creates pressure in the control center, and they need to recover from this disruption. Our tool is supporting operators to do that. And finally, the last piece of the ops value chain is taking stock of what happened in order to improve either standard operating procedures or just learn from the experience of everyone. And our platform also supports that by measuring the resiliency of the operation of the airline and providing recommendations to improve and make it more resilient down the line.
Ghislain, so many questions, but let me start with the regulatory framework. So you worked in banks. That's not an easy industry in terms
Mhm.
of regulations. But aerospace itself is also highly regulated.
Yeah.
When you were working at McKinsey, you had the backing of a gigantic corporation that's known worldwide. But now that you have your own business, do you find it easy to be able to penetrate that market since it's highly regulated and it's very different when you're a new company versus when you're a
Yeah.
McKinsey?
Yeah, definitely. So, um, regulation is not what's the challenge for us. Okay, so we're not a system of record. We're a platform. We're cloud on the cloud system agnostic, and the intent of using this platform is to support a decision process. So support the men and women in the control center by providing additional, insights, more context, more situational awareness that will make them do their job better. So we're not looking at optimizing a flight plan, which is, to your point, heavily regulated, but more at, as an assistant, as an assistant to the operators and providing those insights. At the end of the day, the operators are taking making the final call, which is super important, especially in the context of airlines for safety and regulations too. When I started exploring this opportunity, I was really lucky to meet folks that were extremely generous of their time, spent some time down south, at a great time, and explored a lot with a few airlines down south. What I came to realize is that if you are not from this space, if you don't have concrete experience in a control center, this is where it gets challenging, and especially for a consultant like me. I mean, I understand operations. I understand what it takes from a data and analytics standpoint to improve the performance of operations. I'm not an operator. I don't have 10 years of experience in managing a control center. That's why I'm not doing this alone. And I have a partner that is this expert and that connects with operators. And there's a reason for that. Like, because they almost talk their own language, right? And that to me was as much as a challenge, then also an unlock when I onboarded this Caitlin, my partner, and since then we've been having amazing discussions with operators.
Let me ask you a bit about your co-founder that you mentioned.
Yeah.
You were you had some industry experience. You worked when you even before starting your own company. So how do you know how to select the right partner? How do you know what's missing? How do you know that the partnership is going to work out?
Yeah. That's it's first by being honest with myself and acknowledging that I have gaps. Okay, and that is something that I came to realize very quickly just by having discussions with other co-founders. At first, I was alone, and I thought to myself, oh yeah, I know how to build a product. I know somewhat how to interact and sell a product. Might as well do it alone, but no, that's not how you can be successful. Okay, let's talk about my partners. Caitlin is based in Dallas. She's 10 years of operations experience, formerly a Southwest employee. And she's, along with her network, she has an amazing vision of establishing an operations council that will kind of guide our work, inform the new functionalities that we'll set in the platform, and make it really kind of an operator, an operator solution that is being designed by operators. So that's Caitlin, an amazing individual. Um, Given the complexity and the challenges around data and around finding the optimal solution when there's a disruption, I had to pair up with a very deep data scientist, and I had the opportunity to meet tons of them at McKinsey when I was at McKinsey and Quantum Black. And I made a friend there, René Gaudouin. He's based in London, and he like eats data and analytics every day. And he's the brain behind X360. He's driving the algorithms and the predictive models that we implement and we make available for airlines. And yeah, that's René. Then um, understanding that it takes a long time to connect with an airline, but also to confirm an engagement with an airline. For us, it was important to not only focus on the product, but also focus on the go-to-market and doing this in parallel as we're building the platform. So Josh is also our a leader in Stratus X. He's based in Vancouver. He has tons of experience in MROs and in aerospace in general. And his focus is on connecting with airlines and teeing them up so that we can demonstrate the impact of the platform that we can have and engage with airlines in a design partnership because we don't have the full solution developed. Okay, that's one thing also that I've learned is not to wait to have the complete solution before
Yeah.
starting to either talk about it with your prospective clients or even engage with them. So for us, right now the focus is on working with our design partners to build the platform, and this will leave time for just to make those to create those opportunities for so that we can scale in a couple of years. And then my last but not least partner in crime is Bill. Bill is a seasoned CEO slash CFO. Worked in a big business in the US in the fresh food industry. And Bill brings this rigor, this financial rigor that I believe any startup should have, even if there's a lot of uncertainty. Okay. Well, we're building an optimizing plan, so we like to have plans, and a financial plan is always good to have. You're gonna pivot, you're gonna change, but at least you have something to rely on to guide you when you're gonna change. So that's my team. My team complements me I would say. And that's why I brought them in.
Ghislain, unfortunately, we're out of time. I really think this was a fascinating conversation. I think what you're doing is super cool, and I wish you guys the best. Thank you again. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you. Thank you so much.